Hello, this is Greg Ayler, Malin Williams, and Jared Klimple with Texas Hills Realty LLC, bringing you Realty Talk, where we discuss real estate topics in Fredericksburg, Gillespie County, and the Central Texas Hill Country. We're located at 502 East Main in Fredericksburg. That's the northeast corner of Main and Elk, right behind the old 1931 red and black Ford truck with the chickens on back. We have four amazing agents, including Malin Williams, Joe Kostelski, Phil Fry, and Andrew Harvey, and me, Greg Ayler. Each one of us has special talents with various types of real estate. Three of us have GRI designations. That's the Graduate of the Realtors Institute, including me, Phil Fry, and Joe Kostelski. In addition, last year, Malin was honored as a 2016 nominee for Rookie of the Year, and Greg Ayler was voted Realtor of the Year by our peers in the Central Texas Hill Country Board of Realtors. Malin does our admin, and she's an agent. She has agent duties. And Jared is with us today. He's our office tech help, and he fills in a lot of other places where we need help. And today we're going to talk about peach blossoms, wildflowers, and why it's a great time to sell your property. Why is it a good time to sell?
Well, Greg, we're all, I think, out of our winter hibernation. And in addition to our hill country weather being amazing, and with bluebonnets popping up and the peach blossoms blossoming, inventory is low. And when inventory is low, prices tend to remain strong. And in fact, we're seeing residential listing values appreciate in Fredericksburg.
That's absolutely right, Malin. Our numbers indicate low inventory in Fredericksburg. In residential houses, we only have 78 active listings today. That is usually known as a seller's market, particularly in the under 400,000 category. But only 34 of those listings of the 78 total fall below $400,000.
Yes, Greg, last year we sold 45 listings calendar year to date. This year we've sold 38 over the same time period. There are fewer sales this year, but the average sales price has appreciated by $53,000. And we're also selling homes slightly quicker this year. So with all that, it adds up to a really good time to list and sell your home.
So if the market is doing so well, what are some things I can do before I even think about selling my home?
Well, Jared, hopefully our homeowners out there have been maintaining big ticket items such as HVAC, sprinkler systems, plumbing, major appliances, and keeping those in good working order.
If I were to sell my home, is cleaning and decluttering worth the time and the effort?
Let me put it this way, Jared. 100% absolutely yes. You'd be surprised how many people find this difficult to do, depersonalizing your home so that a potential buyer can see themselves living there is difficult. But you have to get those rooms cleaned up. Take down those 1985 family portraits, and the arts and crafts that are hung on your fridge with the magnets have to go.
Okay, Malin, but I'm still pretty new to all of this. If I were to sell my home, what's the last thing you would want to see? In other words, have you seen any problems with homes before?
The biggest turnoff I've seen when showing homes is when you drive up and the curb appeal falls flat. Overall uncleanliness of the home, and when you walk in and see rooms that aren't used for their intended purpose. It's very hard to overcome a bad first impression. And believe me, I could go on and on about things that I wouldn't want to see, but I've been told I'm a little OCD, and it's a radio show, so I can't ramble.
Tell us how you really feel about that, Malin. Didn't you see a first-hand example of a home that was not ready to show at the beginning of the listing, and then what the homeowner had to do to overcome those obstacles and get it sold?
Yes, one of my first listings went live in MLS before we staged the home. In other words, before we got it market ready. The living room was being used as a bedroom. And so that's the first thing people saw when they walked into the home. Not the best first impression. We had to rearrange furniture and try and get people back through the house with open houses and things like that. Some of this, unnecessary stress could have been alleviated had the homeowner allowed us to hold off on the start date until the home was completely ready to be shown.
Thank you. Okay, I get it. But really today what I wanted to hear more about was the very best things a seller can do this spring to help prepare for selling.
Well, believe it or not, it is rare that we sell homes without people seeing them. So it's very important that your house be what I consider white glove clean. Decluttering, again, we may need to go through that process more than once. And again, this is very hard for some people to understand and actually implement, but trust me on this. The Farrah Fawcett posters must go. And then the next thing that's equally important would be curb appeal.
Wait a second, Malin. What exactly does curb appeal mean?
Good question, Jared. It just simply means, how does your home look when someone is driving by in a car? Is the yard mowed? Are the flower beds weeded, trimmed trees? Does the paint look fresh? And one tip is that taking down window screens make clean windows really pop. Curb appeal is super important because it's the first impression most potential clients will have of your home. So back to Greg's question, cleaning, decluttering, and curb appeal all play a huge factor in selling your home, and they are all relatively inexpensive if you are willing to put in a little.
So what about all of that dreadful paperwork? Is there anything the seller can do to help the agent save time and money?
Yes, Jared, I'm glad you asked that. It's always helpful if a seller could locate their old real estate file, the file that they put together at the time they bought the property. We can list the property without it. We can often go to other sources. But at times it really helps if a seller has the old file and we can find helpful documents such as the old warranty deed, the title policy, the survey. And in fact, once in a while when we find that survey, we can save a seller a little bit of money if we can use it. We put a document on top that basically says there's been no changes since they originally purchased the home. And if we can say that, it may save a little bit of money in the sales transaction. I think I mentioned some of the helpful documents and information include the warranty deed, the title policy, the survey, roof warranties, appliance and fixture warranties, old inspection reports, and so forth.
Well, thank you guys. I feel like I'm a little bit more prepared if I were to sell my home tomorrow. I'll just have to be careful because if Malin comes to look at my home, there's a lot of things I'd have to put back in order.
Thank you, Jared. Our market information today comes from the MLS, or Multiple Listing Service, for the Central Hill Country Board of Realtors as of 3/22/2017. Our board territory covers 4 counties. That's Gillespie, Blanco, Mason, and Kimball. However, the information today regarding inventory refers to residential inventory inside the city limits of Fredericksburg. Inventory is measured in the number of months it would take to sell off the active listings at the current rate of sales, and it assumes 2 things. 1, that there would be no new listings added, and 2, the past sales rate will continue until all listings are sold. We know inventory is short, and at the Texas Hills Realty, we are working with sellers now, feverishly getting their homes up and running on the market. We have several listings in some process of getting ready now, and others that we know will come on a little bit later. So if you're looking for something and you do not see it on the market today, please check with us and let us know what you need. We may have something coming up. These listings cover all sorts of price ranges, from some in the $200,000 and $300,000 category to some in the millions. At least one of these is historical, the old German native rock property, and we have a couple of old rock homes on it here in town. We listed a clean, sharp home in town only a few blocks south of our office, right, Roberta?
That's right.
Yes, this home is a 3-2 that has had most of all the fix-up work done already, and it wouldn't take much just to move right in for less than $300,000. Okay. The message today is that it's a beautiful spring in the central Texas Hill Country and in Fredericksburg. Inventory is low. Prices are high. We think as much as $50,000 to $53,000 higher for a similar home that sold last year. And we would love to visit with you if you're thinking of selling something. Thanks to Malin and to Jared for co-hosting today on Realty Talk. Texas Hills Realty folks have been performers in Fredericksburg for almost 23 years, so we know the ropes. We know the selling and buying process. We know the people involved. We know the different contractors involved and what it takes to be successful, whether it's homes, ranches, or commercial properties, and whether they are being sold or leased. Realty Talk is brought to you by the Texas Hills Realty LLC on Saturday mornings, usually between 9 and 10 o'clock, and on Sundays. Greg Gaylor and Phil Fry, along with Andrew Harvey, Malin Williams, and Joe Kostelski, we appreciate your support. We've been in the real estate business in Fredericksburg for almost 23 years, and we're easy to find at 502 East Main. If you have questions, give us a call at 830-997-6123 or email us at info@txhillsrealty.com. To read more about the discussion topic today or to see our listings, go to txhillsrealty.com, where we like to say we help natives sell and others become natives.